Peggy 18.
I'm Captain Flint, and I chose a pirate's life. Once again, wealth was crossing my path. A good sacking plan is always the best way to recruit good sea dogs. This whole city was full of treasures and just waiting to be looted. I had it all together, on land and at sea. Obviously, nothing went as planned. Defeat was stinging. Yet it was just the beginning of our adventure, and they didn't see the end of me.
Hello and ahoy, sailors! Ahoy, mateys! Welcome to the taverns to villages, the prisons and temples of Saint-Malo, all the way to Central America, following the steps of Captain Flint. In Flint, Treasure of Oblivion, that is brought to you by Microid, who are going to be publishing this game, and Savage Level, who have developed the game. Thank you for being here around the table. Watch the space. The game is going to be released very soon on different platforms, including PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. With us today, Joanne, can you tell us what you're going to be doing in the crew?
Yeah, I'm a game director for Flint.
So what does that involve? Can you...
Maybe everything about the gameplay of the game.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about that a bit later.
Yeah.
And are you the one giving orders to game designers, such as Chris here?
Exactly. Yeah, and this is my soulmate.
Do you have to take orders? Is it like on a boat?
Exactly like in the boat. I take orders, I follow the orders at the laters, but sometimes my chief let me experience.
You are able to be creative in the process.
Exactly.
Okay.
For in the games, everything you're gonna do with the character, every kind of cutscene,
Yeah.
I made it.
Okay.
So
Okay, all the cutscenes.
Looks
There's
like
some nice stuff there. There's lots of nice things in this game. We're going to be seeing that. And you have another captain. It's not Flint here. It's Max, captain of Savage Level then.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was going to ask, do you call yourself captain or my captain in the actual crew in the game, in the studio?
Some people call me Cap.
Yeah.
Captain, Cap.
Is it because you have a cap as well?
Yeah, anytime. I wear my own colors,
Okay.
so that's the
All the time.
most of the time.
I did notice that in previous interviews you've done, you always had the cap, and I saw you arrive earlier on, and I thought, he's got the cap. So yes.
That's our Johnny the Warrior here, so
Yeah, every time you go somewhere. So we're going to be running this in 3 parts. We're going to be talking about the game's origins and the narrative choices. We're going to talk about the immersion and authenticity, the genuineness of the story behind. We're going to be talking about that later. And the gameplay mechanics, where we're probably going to see a few images from the game. Chris is going to be actually playing here with us a little bit and showing us through the story later down the line. So, okay. Crew, if you're ready, we're going to dive in, hoist the colors. Let's go to origins and narration. So the origins of the game and the narration, but it all begins with one story, is Savage Level, that was created for this project specifically.
you're right.
Okay, all right. Can you tell us about how that happened? Why did you begin this? Who came up with the idea? What's the story?
The story is a brotherhood story at the beginning. We are 2 co-founders of the studio. My older brother Aurélien, who is creative director, and we've been working for quite some time together in other studios. We've been in the industry for more than a decade, about 2 decades for him. And we were like, okay, how about we take the best practices in the industry and we blend it together into a studio? So it made Savage Level at the end. This is what we wanted to do.
Okay, sounds like a good plan to blend in the good stuff. And there are 3 brothers, I understood.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Chris is also a brother.
So this is okay. So this did begin as a bit of a family business,
It is.
and Was it always about pirates from the very beginning?
We have always been about pirates since childhood, actually, reading books, you know, for example, Treasure Island, obviously, but watching movies, you know, getting more and more knowledge along the years, you know, growing up, making some research, and get to a game that is going to be about, you know, real piracy from the golden age, which is the best period of
Okay, so
piracy.
this comes from a long way back. And why Flint specifically? What was the ambition behind Flint itself?
I talked about Treasure Island. When it comes to piracy, you know, there is a book that is really the basis of everything. You know, it's a legend when you get to talk about pirates. And we were like, okay, it has been a book that we've been loving for childhood. And we were like, how about taking some of a character, you know, who has a representation for everybody. Most of the people know Captain Flint and Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And we made the story, we blended it together, and came to a game.
And is he the sole inspiration? Because you've spoken a lot about Treasure Island itself. Have you tried to get other elements of the universe, of the folklore, of history, perhaps as well? Is it just Flint, or is there many other aspects
There are
of piracy?
so many references in the game.
Okay.
This game is a pirate story as it would have been told back in the days. So there are many elements coming from this, but we have been talking to specialists about piracy, some working in some universities, reading more books, making some research, being to many places. We traveled to the Caribbean, for example, to get some references, you know. We made many researches in many ways.
That's
we went,
nice.
Yeah,
That
we
sounds
went to Saint Malo with all the crew
Absolutely.
to discover the city and the things
nice.
that will be into the game at the end.
And we also did. We also went on a boat in Saint Malo, like a replica of the last Surcouf. He was a corsair, but we went on the replica of Surcouf last boat, so we could have the real feeling of what being a pirate or corsair was.
Really sell.
Did they get you working?
Yeah, we got
Okay,
working.
you did.
Well,
Oh, right.
we
You really do
hoisted
it.
the sails.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow. Was that a random experience, or did you know people? How'd you get to live those kind of things as a studio?
Well, I mean, it came along with the story. It was something we wanted to do, and it was part of the experience, you know. Getting to Saint Malo, making some researches, it's all part of a project.
Okay. So this project so you have this on the go. It's soon to be released. But before getting into Flint, what did the studio, what's the team experience before all of this? How'd you get there?
We have many experienced people. We have many levels of experience at the studio. For example, Johan has been in the industry for 25, 26 years, something. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm quite old.
I hadn't noticed. Okay.
We have many experienced people, less experienced people. They are all rock stars to us because they do really a good job, you know. We had 4 people that already had studio in the past. They shipped games, so it's definitely validated. We have long time working in industry people that have been working in bigger studio, you know, like in AAA studios. We also have newcomers to the industry, but you know they do a very good job. And the model, we like to say that if you're skating with Tony Hawk every day, you're gonna get good very fast.
Yes. And with the experience that, I get that you can get people on board very quickly.
Absolutely.
And up to scratch. It does sound very crew-like. Even there seems to be a theme where you get new people on board. You were telling me right before we began about how the pirates would recruit people by negotiating for them to join the crew rather than, well, there's many stories about that. We'll talk about it after. So there's the backstory of Savage Level, and there's this will to do something that's very original in the narration style. You've been inspired by comic books as well. Joanne, would you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I can go for it. Well,
so why the drawing? Why the comic book? What inspired that?
along with piracy, we've always been fan as well by comic books, many types of comic book, and there are many reasons. The fan base one, and the second one will be that it's a good narrative element to use in a video game. You know, it prevents from reading large text blocks and everything. It immerses the player in his or her own story because there is no voiceover,
Yeah.
on the text bubble. So you
Yeah.
can imagine the
Yeah.
voice of the character that is speaking. There are production reasons as well, but first and foremost, we wanted to pay tribute to, in this case, the Franco-Belgian comic book style.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe I can add that this is the core idea of Aurélien. Aurélien wanted to tell the story in the best and more efficient way to the player. He doesn't want people to have a lot of text to read and to experience and to have a good experience of a pirate story. So the comic book come really quickly in mind to deserve this kind of idea.
Well, it tricked me because you said there's no voices in the game indeed, and by trying it out, reading it to myself, it just happened. I didn't even notice there were no voices because it's still happening in my mind. And the fact that the images come up with the bubbles, I'm telling myself the story without realizing it. And you're feeding that to me as I go through. I really enjoyed that aspect. But did that influence also the overall aesthetics of the game design?
Yeah.
So in the graphics, okay, so there is this will to...
Yeah, exactly. As you said, there is no voiceover.
Yeah.
But you don't need it because it's a comic book-like experience. And every choices in the game have been made to enforce this kind of experience. I would love people to say to me that they never read a comic book like that before.
Well,
And I think this is the way Flint should be experienced.
So this was one of the initial ideas, and I mean, you must have known at the time that this was unique.
Yeah.
When doing this, and how did you know it was going to work? Did it take a while to get it to work for you?
We tried hard.
Yeah.
We definitely built prototypes,
Yeah.
but it came really quick to us, and we have been showing to a lot of people, to get their first impression. And anytime we showed the game to people, they were like, "Wow, that's crazy good," and I enjoy this.
I get that. I had that. I wasn't too sure. Because, I mean, I'd heard of the concept through interviews you'd given, and I was like, okay, we'll see. And when trying it out, it ticks the box very quickly, which I did not expect. It's very good.
In fact, it was not that quickly.
Yeah?
This is our job, so it's not so.
The idea came,
You said first.
You pay me for that.
Yes, you're trying to.
So,
You're
in
trying
fact,
to
there-
your
there-
game design, your game
Yeah.
director role is very important for this.
the idea was validated quickly. You did it in a long time because it took time.
But in fact, there's a lot of balance and choices. And saying, do we have to put more gameplay, to put more experience in that in that way? Do we have to show the experience or to tell the story through the battles, through the comics, through the environment, through the exploration in 3D? Everything is really balanced to enforce the experience of having a good narration through the comic books.
Yeah.
And it's very important because you at some point you can say, I should have preferred to have more battle or more explosion or more things. But in fact, everything is really is about balance to enforce the spirit of the comic books. And as you said, there is no voiceover, but you can imagine it in your head.
It happens.
And it works.
Yeah.
And everything is about this balance. So this is really a keystone for Flint.
Well done. The originality of the game struck me at least, and I expect it will strike quite a few people along the line when this actually comes out. You also put another emphasis on another aspect that we're going to be talking about right now. It's the immersion in the actual game and the genuineness of the material. So we're going to be talking about that right now. So authenticity and immersion in the game have been one of the key elements that you've been wanting to introduce in the game. It's been a big package, in fact, I understand. You've been working hard on gathering resources and knowing what you want to talk about, if I have understood correctly.
Sure.
Can you tell us about that?
There are so many hours in research in going to the library, in scouting all the internet, in watching at some maps, because at the end of the day, these are the pillars of the game. We're making a pirate game, and we really wanted to have a difference between what has been done before and what's in this game. Because in our mind, so far a lot of pirates has been wrongly told.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we wanted to put the church back in the middle of the village. So
Like that expression.
that's the reason why, as I was telling you before, we have been talking to real specialists, some working as teachers in universities. They wrote like many books and so on. And this is the base of the house. So we wanted to be accurate in some parts, because what's the better reference than history? That's the truth. So this is something you cannot contest. There is no choice in telling this is the truth, because we saw that in books. We were telling you we've been to Saint Malo. So people from Saint Malo, actually we got somebody from Saint Malo at the studio, and she was like, before I work with you guys, I have seen my hometown in a game. I was like, oh, this is this place in Saint Malo. It looks
wow.
like this.
All right. The map is...
Yeah, the map is not 100% accurate,
Okay.
but some places are still looking the same in Saint Malo. We've been through so many maps. The thing is, in the history, Saint Malo has been destroyed and rebuilt so many times that we've been through maps from 1500 something to the actual period, like the Golden Age.
Well, when is the pirate period? When is it roughly?
Well, roughly, historians do not agree about that.
Okay.
So I don't want to raise problem between people that I truly appreciate. But the games takes place in 1715.
All right.
That's the end of the golden age of piracy, and I'm allowed to say that. They all agree about this.
You're not going to create a conflict with that.
Indeed.
Okay. That's good. And so you're telling me that you've wanted to introduce authenticity to this and give a real feel that something's been actually lived, so we can live an experience that might be close to a form of historical reality. But I suppose there's been a few twists and bends for the narration, for the storytelling. Do we meet characters from fiction in the actual game that maybe we will recognize, or that will be coming from different stories we've been told?
Definitely. There are fictional characters in Flint, Treasure of Oblivion.
Okay, like
Flint.
Yeah,
Like Flint.
Yeah, like Flint. Okay,
Definitely.
Billy Bones.
But you also have real historic pirates. You will have. I will give an example so I don't spoil the whole game. But you will have Mary Read, for example, who was a woman pirate, or Anne Bonny.
Anne Bonny.
So we have two pirate women in this game that actually lived. And they're real existing characters. They are here for a reason in this game, and I hope people will get to play the game so they can understand why we put these ladies in the game. But once again, we wanted to convey some truth about what was piracy back in the days. And yes, there were pirate women, definitely, and some really feared pirate women.
There's one.
Yeah, you were telling me about some very frightening ones.
But for the good of the game, the gameplay and the narration, we wanted the game to be not historically accurate, but believable. Credible.
I see.
So this is the way we can mix Flint imaginary characters with true characters from the history. So we took a few freedom,
a few liberties,
on the thing, but and also as Max said, this is about the story, the way a true pirate should have told so. Sometimes you can have some emphasis or some beliefs into the narration.
Yeah, storytelling. You will add a bit of color and magic to a story you've lived anyway in life. I see.
Absolutely, that's super important, because think about the mermaid, or think about the kraken.
All right,
They're most of the time, in a pirate story. And the funny fact is that the name of the project before, we reworked it, was Flint a Pirate Story, because this is how back in the days a pirate or wholesaler would have told a story.
What do you mean there are no mermaids and krakens in the sea? I thought.
You will see some things.
Oh,
Definitely.
Oh, I suppose there can be circumstances where, when you spend a long time at sea, you probably want to see land. You probably want to see things. So yeah. I
You
can
want to
imagine.
see krakens?
You want to see krakens? Maybe not. Maybe not that one. Maybe not that one. So you've tried to lead this, and there's locations as well. We've spoken a lot about characters, but locations are locations that were really relevant in the time. Saint-Malo having a heavy history, but the game takes us to other locations as well that have a weight in history as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, we're going to the Caribbean.
Okay, this is official. We can say.
Well, there were pirates in most of the world at this time. There were pirates in Madagascar, but there were a lot of pirates in the Caribbean because the islands are not far from each other, so they didn't have to take like a 1 month journey to go from one island to each other.
Yeah.
And most definitely, it was easier to loot and to go hide someplace, and to go to another one. And at this time, there was a lot of trade within the Caribbeans from Europe to, for example, North America. But they had to go through the Caribbeans, where it was the best place for a trap. So we definitely had to portray something in the Caribbean at this time.
That sounds exciting and exotic as well. It's going to be interesting. And, well, I suppose in terms of authenticity, we've covered quite a lot. Is there anything else any other secrets we're allowed to know about a relevant anecdote or something that the studio has put together, a little surprise? Anything else we could say about the historical figures?
Well, a lot, actually. We will get to the gameplay later on, and Johan will tell you deeper about what we have made. There are a lot of references within the game, but as most of the pirate stories, there has to be some secret kept until you further travel to the island.
Okay. Keeping secrets. I like that.
Yeah.
It is called the Treasure of Oblivion, so you can't.
So, in fact, there is a treasure. There's a map.
Yeah. We had to have a map.
Yeah. So we're talking about piracy and treasure.
More secrets to be told. Well, in that case, let's move on to gameplay to see what this actually looks like and how it works, because this is also a tactical RPG. It's also a game that has mechanics, and we're going to be seeing that right now. So let's go to gameplay mechanics in a second. Okay, here we are for Flint Treasure Oblivion's game mechanics. So we're going to be listening to you, Joanne, about the game mechanics. Can you tell us a little bit how the game is approached, how the characters evolve in the game, and more specifically maybe, well, their abilities? There's an RPG feel about it.
Yeah, we took into the roots of the tabletop RPG as an inspiration for Flint. In fact, we deeply go into the root of every kind of tabletop RPG, miniature, or board games to create Flint. But maybe should be interesting to go to the game.
That's my point. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
And just have a look about the character sheet to explain how does it work and the inspiration. And maybe we can ask some question if
We're talking about Caribbean.
not everything is not.
Well, yeah, already the visuals.
Yeah, so from there you can see our characters, and then we're going to the menu to look at one of the character sheets. So from there you can see Flint. If you go inside,
James Flint.
Yeah, James Flint. So here you can see the full character sheet of a character of the game. On the left side,
Go on,
you can see this is very, very centric about the statistic. So you got the strength, something we call the finesse. In the central, and the constitutions, so CO.
Yeah, very classic RPG characteristics.
Very classic.
Easy to understand.
Yeah. If you play tabletop RPG before, if you don't, in fact, the strength is about
damage.
How many damages you do in close combat.
Yeah.
So the stronger you are, the more damage you do. Finesse, which is like your dexterity, in fact, but we call it in French finesse because there's a double meaning In fact, finesse is your intelligence, but
Yeah.
also your dexterity.
Yes, it's
And-
about it's the phlegm, it's the speed of thought, it's reaction, it's everything. Yeah.
So in fact, in Flint, this statistic allow you to calculate the way you touch the other. So the difficulty to touch your enemy. So the more finesse you have,
the quicker you'll get your hits.
yeah, the
Okay.
easier it will be
Okay.
to touch your enemy. But it's also allow you
Moving.
to move on the grid. So the more finesse you have, the
The
further you,
hastier you are.
yeah,
All right.
and it will be easier to climb on the stairs, on the crate.
Yeah, because I saw there's a lot of climbing
Yeah,
involved.
there's a lot
there's
of
not a lot.
practicality
You can.
into the game.
You
Yeah.
can. There's little tricks
Yeah,
and
and you will
secrets.
have. In fact, we in our ID, we really want the pirate to be able to jump over all into the bar, having a bar fight and people jumping on each other all the time. So finesse is very important because this is the way you will be able to jump on the other or to reach your enemy.
Yeah, because the fights are the dynamics of the fights are not linear. There's lots of options.
Yes, in fact, it's quite easy to understand the way you fight. So you can move or
Yeah.
you can fight, and we will show,
gonna show just after.
just
Okay.
after. But
Okay.
in fact, there is a multiple way to finish every fight. So you can treat it like a puzzle, or you can just want to use your luck or chance or fortune to succeed in the fight.
Speaking of luck and fortune, how is that handled in the game? How do we handle the random events that occur?
There's two way of to answer that question. So as you can see in the character sheet, there is dice,
Yeah.
and it's very centric into the gameplay because everything that is not obvious will be.
It's gonna be your luck for all that not on the main path.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So luck is an element.
Yeah,
In
luck
fact,
is a
there's
true element.
And there's even some cards to get a bit luckier.
Exactly.
I saw as well.
So
Okay.
if you really use wisely your cards or your attributes or your placement on the grid, you will not be obliged to use your dice.
Okay. So things should go well.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
You can. In fact, this is the way works the tabletop RPG. If I have to throw the dice, I did something wrong.
Yeah.
In
You've
fact.
reached a point where you have
Exactly.
to. Yeah,
So this is the way we saw the gameplay about Flint. Is,
Okay.
If I don't have to roll the dice, I know what will happen, and normally I will win or die, depend on my choice.
So in this game, there's both a way to have full control if you're clever about it,
Exactly.
and to really roll in.
Yeah.
And if you're less clever about it, or maybe if you choose, can you choose?
Yeah, you can choose the way
just,
you want to
let
play,
it
in
happen
fact,
that way.
yeah.
Okay.
But for people who really want to go deeper and deeper into the gameplay experience
Yeah.
and the game design, you should try to play the game without throwing any dice,
Okay.
except for the exploration.
Right, and you can even if you're except for exploration, yeah, because
Yeah.
you can try and lockpick a door,
Exactly.
and there'll always
Yeah.
be a dice there. Yeah, okay.
And even in this part of the game, so maybe you can show there is in the cambus, in the galley, right here, you can see that there is a card that allows you to re-roll the dice. So
Yeah.
if ever you're not happy with your
The results of the dice.
the result of your dice, like in a very famous other games in which you will be able to throw your 20 dices, 20 side dices. From there, if you're not happy, you will be able to use this card
Okay.
to re-roll
And
the result.
re-roll, okay.
But in fact, you will never be able to buy this. You will have to find it all over the game.
I found, I noticed that.
Yeah, so
You
this
just-
is the way we enforce the game of exploration.
Yeah, you have to
so
explore.
You need to
Yeah,
explore. You
yeah.
need to understand the story. You need to read the comic book. You need to read everything and to understand everything to find every resources that is hidden to the scenery.
So you were talking about battles. I don't know whether you plan to show this in the gameplay a bit later, but what are the scale of battles? Are we on 2 against 2?
It can be two against two, 2 against 2, 2 against 3, and even 15 against 15.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
which is
can
huge.
we can get big battles going.
Yeah, big. And we treat this huge battle differently.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so there is two kind of battles. So
Alright.
random battles. When you in the exploration you didn't know something will happen, so you need to be prepared first.
I
But
found that out.
sometimes there is huge battle. So you, like if you're on a ship and you see the ship, okay, so you have to select your crew. You need to select who is going to enter the battle,
Okay.
and you need to equip yourself.
Where they enter the battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And go to the
And go to fight.
go to fight. So it's quite easy. Maybe we can go back on the character sheet because I just talked about.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Just
we
I
did.
just
not too much.
yeah.
I
So
rolled
just
over with a
talked
question,
about
but-
the characteristic, but
We not.
yeah, there is
last one.
the cards. So in the cards, so there is the dice. As you can see here, you have 8 side.
Yeah, it's
dice.
D8.
Yeah.
It's D8,
So-
yeah.
And we used every kind of dices into the tabletop RPG from
Okay.
the 4 side
All-
to the 20 side.
all 7 of them.
And in fact, your characters right there got a level. So this is his job level.
Okay,
In-
right.
If he starts with a 6 dice, 6 side.
A D6. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So if he level up, you can choose to increase your dice.
All right.
And this is the dice that will be thrown into the battle.
So there's character building in this.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay,
for the
yeah,
leveling.
yeah.
And you will have some bonuses that allow you to increase your dice.
Right.
You also have your weapon. Maybe if you click on
Here,
the weapon
yeah,
from
weapons.
there. Yeah. The weapon got a quality. The quality of
Here.
of the weapon increase the number of side of your dice.
Size of the dice.
So
Oh.
if I got
If it's an inferior one, you have a little light.
So inferior
Or
quality
size,
swords or a
Exactly,
high-end
yeah.
forged by the best.
Yeah. If you have the
Okay.
superior one, you have the
Okay.
one of the better dice. So it's good.
Okay.
So in the battle, you will be you will throw some dices, one for your job. So everyone got the job dice,
Okay.
and
This one.
weapon dices.
When you say job, is it like the role in the crew?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
We,
Okay.
maybe we will
I
be
can
able
show.
to
Here.
talk it about into
The
the
crew
crew.
guide.
I
So
see.
from there,
Yeah.
you can see every card right there is the people who were needed to set sail a boat in the piracy. So you need a captain, you need
Okay.
a second,
Yeah.
Not yet.
and evidently you need
Coroner,
Cannoneer,
artisan, swashbuckler, watchman.
the doctor. It's
Yeah.
really
Oh
important.
yeah, yeah.
Doctor.
Medic, please.
Medic.
Yeah.
Medic. Always. Cook. The cook.
Oh,
guy.
probably the most important.
The most
Prob-
important guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make him important in the game?
true.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, that's good. That's good.
So, in fact, at the start of the game, when you need to recruit your crew,
Okay.
we made some characters mandatory, and you can't leave Saint-Malo without the
Eat
guy.
them for the boat.
Which makes sense. You wouldn't take the risk of going out to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you need to have those guys, but maybe you will be able to recruit more people, and it's up to you to go and see with or without every characters needed to.
And how does that define the level of difficulty of everything after?
Exactly.
Of course. Oh, wow.
This is
Okay.
the way we enforce the storytelling.
Okay.
In fact, you can go in a linear way through the game and
Yeah.
just want to make the battles and enjoy the comic books and so on. But you can explore every piece of the scenery, everything, and you want to encounter every characters and want to recruit every characters into the game. And this is the most important thing because, as you can see, there is a lot of there is
a lot of
gold, a lot of people. There is gold also, and I will.
We'll talk about the gold.
Which
talk
is
about the loot.
really important into the game.
Okay.
But pirates like gold pieces and treasure. But the most important things into the game and into the piracy is the crew, is the people. So into the game, you need to find the gold, which is very centric into the gameplay. But you really need to find every characters of the game. You need to recruit every people into the game to really have the best experience, and being the more powerful into the game.
Are you suggesting if you do that, does it really get easy or?
In fact, it's. Should I say it's easier? No, you will have more.
Management.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see.
More,
I see.
You will be more
Yeah.
powerful. For an example, in fact, into the game there is something we call the combo. So the symbiosis between two characters that unleash a new power. So the combo. When two characters are next to each other on the field. You will be able to use their combo once per
for the fight.
For the fight.
Yeah.
If you don't have the right characters, you don't have the combo.
You never access it. Okay.
So you need to find the right characters.
You found a way to push people to explore. This is good.
Exactly.
This is good.
And also, as you can see into the screen, you have the main characters which are needed to sail and to manage a boat, and you get the sailor. So if at any time someone is dying, like on a true boat, the sailor will take the place of the one to because you need someone to be in charge.
Need someone to do the job.
Need to do the position,
Yeah.
I find so this can be heartbreaking. You can lose crew members.
Exactly. You can swap two sailors because you want. If my cannoneer is dying, I want this guy
to automatically be. I can see the arrows.
So this is the way. Okay, this is the way you manage your sailor because you just want to say, "Oh, I prefer this guy with this characteristic and this attribute to swap that guy if this one is dying."
And I can see that you have to decide based on levels as well, because we get level 1s, level 0s. How do I level up my crew?
This. You want to talk about?
We can easily do about that.
As we said previously, the gold is very important for the pirates. So the way, how do you know a pirate is very important? By his fortune. So the number of gold pieces.
The money you have.
Okay. Right.
More money you have, more important
gold
is.
you have. Yeah. Okay.
And in the real pirate way, the treasure was for all the crew at any time. If someone just pick one pieces out of the treasure before it has been shared, he's going on the plank and he's going to die.
Right. So it's always very evenly distributed.
Yeah. So
okay.
This is the way you will level in Flint. So you will need to share the gold.
Okay.
With all the crew. And every time, so maybe you can show it.
We're going to share a little money.
If you share the money,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So
like that.
Everyone will have the same amount of money. So the more people you have, the less money you give to
You're
anyone.
sharing out,
Yeah, you have to share.
And so you need to be clever by leveling up key roles, I suppose.
Exactly.
And,
Exactly. And you need to manage when you share the treasure, because if you share it when you have a lot of people will level.
Not that fast.
Slowly.
Slowly.
In a slower way.
Okay.
But this treasure allows you to go into the galley. So this is the same money that allows you to buy the
stuff,
the medics, the grenade, or your armors. So you need to wisely choose between. Do I want to level up my characters, or do I want to stuff them with more abilities, which is into the accessories? and it's very pirate because the accessories are for everyone on the crew. So when you use the treasure, you
for everyone.
use it for everyone. But
Yeah.
if you share it, every character will increase into the level by himself. And then you will be able to go into his character sheet and choose if you want to increase a characteristic or increase the job level or want to increase the skills.
Okay.
Because
Attributes.
as we talked just previously, every role on the boat have their own skills, and this is the way we manage.
And so between the equipment,
Yeah.
the roles, the leveling, you need to optimize the crew. Concerning the exploration itself, do you explore with just the main characters, or do you have the whole crew with you when you're exploring?
So it depends on the time of the narration. So at some point you will be able to choose which characters you will follow Flint into the adventure.
Okay.
And it allows you to choose who will fight with you if ever you encounter foes or enemies or danger. And this is the way you manage your crew. So, do I want to explore the universe with a medic, or
I see.
do I prefer to explore the world
Well-
with a swashbuckler? So,
And here we're exploring, is it Saint Malo by night?
The beach
yeah,
of Saint-Malo.
Not quite?
we just escaped a prison
Oh, yeah.
in Saint-Malo, and you get the eyes. So, yeah, and from there, maybe right here, you can see that we have some QT 20 dice, 20-sided dice.
Because his lockpicking is easy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this is the way. Sometime you will be able to try to
Have
open
some
the chest.
stuff. Are you gonna
Yeah.
be lucky? Or?
Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah, just
All right, seven success.
Success.
Success. And we have our buddy with us for the moment, but that could be any of the members of crew. Is there a maximum to
at-
the number?
At this time, so this is Billy who is
Yeah.
following you,
Billy Bones. Okay.
and you will be able to have something like 6 or 7 crew members that
All right,
that
okay,
will
yeah, that's
go
pretty good.
in the exploration.
Okay.
At some point, so if you have 7 characters with you, battles and enemy that you encounter will face 7 pirates, but at some point, when in huge battle, you will be able to choose who is going into the battle, and then you will be able to pick through every
To prepare.
all the
roster
crew, all the
and
crew member you
into
can
the,
have.
Okay, the number of people I can have on board. And in terms of exploration, I see that there's some leveling in the game. What's the verticality of exploration?
So in the exploration, there are parts where you will have to find a way to
climb,
jump, and to go further into the exploration mode.
Okay.
But the verticality is more
In the battle.
used into the battle.
Well,
And maybe
can we
Actually,
see
we're
that?
gonna see that now.
All right.
So, like we say, the comic books.
God, I love the comic book.
Always, and it's gonna be the fight.
So we have those 2 characters for the fight.
And actually, this battle, it's all about explaining about moving and also the verticality.
Okay.
What you can do. So
Okay.
try to.
So using the elements of decor
Yeah.
and the environment
So from here you can see that you can move on the grid, and you will be able to jump on characters if you are from above and you jump on someone. So if you something like 80 kilos on your head,
Yeah, that hurts.
it's gonna hurt.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't
Normally,
want-
it's not hurt that much.
I would-
Normally, you delicately.
I wouldn't
sleep.
want that to happen to me.
And in the battle system, if you jump on someone and there is no way to escape, so no,
Oh, yeah,
no
it's like
place
that.
where you
In
can
this case.
Right.
where you can push someone.
So there's no
there is no escape.
You can't fall.
He's
to
gonna
the ground.
die.
Okay. Instant death.
Instantly.
80 kilo on the spine.
Yeah, I
it's
suppose
quite
it would be.
heavy.
But if you jump on someone and there is a way he can escape,
Okay.
then you will
That's
just
that.
be pushed.
I'm gonna try to show that.
Yeah, maybe if you go.
It makes
Right,
sense. I like that you put that into the
And
mechanics.
here, for example,
Yeah.
I
So
can have
as I
Yoshika.
said before, if
Okay.
you really take care of the environment and the way you move onto the grid,
You can-
sometimes you can
get away
easily,
with
yeah,
few dice rolls. Very
Exactly.
few. Okay.
You can avoid the dice.
So this is a good way of using the verticality into the game because it's not just jumping on characters. It's about how you jump on characters, and then you will be able to use barrels to push things on other characters to kill them.
To kill.
Just
Yeah.
happened.
First knock them out
this
and
is
kill
the
them.
And his knocked out.
And now he's dead.
All right, now he's
And
dead.
now
he's dead.
Twice.
if you push a barrel on someone on the ground,
yeah, it
you
wouldn't.
kill
It
him
wouldn't.
instantly.
Yeah, it wouldn't work.
Also,
Also, when you move
but
to someone on the ground, you can.
sometimes, yeah,
Crush him.
You can crush him also. Then
So it's not just it's not just about basic fights. It's not just weapon against weapon. It's not the standard stuff. It's how to use the environment to harm
exactly.
the other one
But
as well.
in fact,
Okay.
this is in the first battle of the game, so it's
Okay.
quite easy. But
Yeah.
when you will have something like 15 characters, they will not let you easily come to
you.
them and eat you and smash you. So you need to try to find the good way into the chaos of the battle. And use the verticality, use the object. But if you can kill someone in just one jump,
Okay.
you can also die by
if
someone
does
in
that
one jump.
to you.
So you need to. So maybe it's really interesting because on that, Chris just throw dice. So when you want to fight with someone, you will have to throw the dice, and maybe we can go into the rules to show the side
Dice.
the dices. So this is an
combat.
explanation of how the battles is working.
All right. So is it because it's the tutorial, or do you always have access to that?
you always
Okay,
have
that's
access.
good. All right,
And
I
this
see.
is also a tribute to the tabletop RPG.
Okay,
So
yeah.
in any time when you have a question of how does it
Yeah.
work and what does my dice is doing, you
have
can
the
go
rule.
into the rules to look at it, or you can just let the master play for you,
Explain and just
roll
set
the
that.
dice,
Okay.
and accept.
Yeah, and accept the fate. Accept the fate.
Or if you have a lucky trick, you say, no, I want to re-roll that. But
So-
I accept
oh, yeah.
it.
With the extra cards. Okay.
So, by example, from there, you can see this is the dice about the.
That's the
weapon
job dice.
The job dice.
That's
So,
the job dice.
as I said, you have the job dice, so the level of your pirates into the job, and every side of the job got different numbers
Okay.
and different icons. The number is quite easy because there is a difficulty. You need to make a score
Of 7
Above.
or 5. Above. something.
above
Okay.
the difficulty, and there is a success. Every success deal 1 damage.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and 1 damage is your strength. So if
Okay.
you got 3 in strength,
3 hits,
you
3
damage.
3 damage.
Okay, right.
Easy.
yeah.
That's easy. And weapons got their own quality. So and weapon got their own dices. So if
Like we
their
are.
own dice. No, sorry.
All right.
I say dices, but dice. And there's not the same icons
Icons, it's a-
on weapon and job.
Different.
Okay,
So-
so you will have, among the set of dice that you have, you will have different effects depending
Yes,
on
of course,
different
of
things.
course.
Which means, I suppose you can combo that by making sure that certain weapons go well with certain effects from a roll.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you talk about effect, you're really right because there is the job dice, there is the weapon dice,
Yeah.
and the effect dice.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
the effect
and the
dice.
effect dice is, in fact, the way we treat. As we said, the game is about is historically credible. So there is no magic in the battle.
Okay.
So there is
Yeah.
kraken, mermaids, sorceress. There is into the story, but
are mysteries.
in the true battle, there is no magic.
Okay.
So there is
It's-
swords, guns,
And blood.
and blood. So we treat the twist that can happen into the battle through the effect. Every weapon got their own effect dice. with their own effect. So the standard daggers
We'll just do a slash, for example. But if you have the really high quality, I'm going to say club, warhammer, when you hit someone with it, make a little damage.
Yeah, a little bit more.
and maybe we'll be able to one hit or instant
Instant
death,
kill.
instant
Yeah,
instant
for
kill
certain
someone,
cases.
yeah.
I think the cleaver does that.
Yeah,
The cleaver does that.
exactly,
I saw that,
exactly.
yeah. What is the impact? There are archetypes in the game you mentioned, the different roles and jobs. What is the impact of these archetypes on these mechanics?
Yeah.
How heavy is the impact?
Yeah, it was one of the things when I talk about the balance,
Yeah.
because as we want it to be historically credible, it's not archetype like in the fantasy world
Okay.
where you got a ranger or a warrior, a sorceress,
All right.
and your job make you so different from another. So barbarians and a sorceress will be defined by their archetype.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a sailor. In fact, you're a human. If I give you a sword, you're a man with
Okay.
a sword.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the way your difference is you know how to read a map. Okay.
It's your superpower. You know how to make a map.
Well,
Yeah. So the archetype, I should say, I used the word your job on the ship is you're the captain,
Yeah.
you're the navigator, you're the watchman.
You the watchman.
And it changes your skill. And this is the card you will
One of
be
the
able
cards.
to use into the battle that make the difference. So every characters are quite the same, and if you change your weapon, you change the characters because someone with a spear is not will not fight the same way that someone who
With a
has
gun
an
or
axe or a gun
something else.
or a musket. But
Still man.
he's still
Yeah,
so,
okay.
and he will be able to use his special skill. So the special skill for the watchman is I can see that you are in danger, so I prevent you that you are in danger.
are you warned?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see.
And then if I warn you,
You get a bonus. And
exactly,
Okay,
you will
yeah.
have a bonus.
Yeah, yeah.
The navigator has a strong voice because when she's
You have
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
he needs
you have
to
to
say
say it's the go
yeah,
with
the
the
same
voice. Yeah.
and with his voice, he will be able to
make people turn
to make people
see
turn
him.
and face him.
Oh wow. Okay, enemies.
Enemies,
Or everyone.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. I see.
You
I
will
see.
you will target someone and yell at someone. So
Yeah.
this guy will face you.
He can't taunting. Just
Yeah,
it's a kind of something.
And then
Okay, yeah.
if you show your back to someone at any time,
If you
it
show the
make
back.
a huge difference in the battle.
Yeah, I can imagine it would. You've really made this very, very real feeling because what you're explaining there about the archetypes is, okay, you might have a specialty in life, but you are a human.
Yeah.
You've got a few skills, but they're quite. You're not going to be the top of the world in your specific domain. Everyone
Yes,
could pick up a
exactly.
sword, as you said.
It will not change everything, but it will combo with the
Yeah,
rest of the crew.
yeah.
And as I said, the most important things in sprints is the crew, is the
Yeah.
people. If you mix the right people at the right moment and the right time, you will not experience the same way to make the battle.
Yeah.
And in fact, if I go deeper in this way, characters got skills by their job, but every character's got their own attributes. And attributes is not given by your archetype.
Yeah.
It's given by your
Who
birth.
you are.
By the
Yeah,
nature.
Who you are.
Yeah.
And every sailor got their own attributes. And every character's got their own attributes.
So even though there's an extra layer of
Exactly.
differences. Okay.
So some characters will be stronger. Some characters will be
Faster, some other
Faster,
can eat more strong.
and
Okay.
exactly. And there is, and this is the last layer that enforced the gameplay of the explorations. That sailors got common attributes. And every characters into the game, you will be able to recruit, have extraordinary attributes.
Okay.
Flint got their extraordinary attributes, and people that you will be able to recruit through the game got extraordinary attributes. And if you lose this guy, you use this attribute because the sailors
It's unique to that person.
Yeah,
Okay.
are common.
So you have managed to find a way to make some people a bit,
Yeah.
like heroic.
Exactly.
I might dare say.
And you need to find them
Yeah.
in the exploration.
Okay, so you have to explore.
You have to
You have
explore.
to explore.
I like this conclusion. I like this. And it's funny when you were talking about the crew and the way you need to build up a crew to get a boat sailing properly, to be able to go on these adventures. You could have been talking about setting up a game studio such as Savage Level, and setting up a crew must have been quite a feat. But it looks like, well, the game is to be released. You're ready. Do you feel ready about this?
We're ready about
Yeah?
this.
Okay.
Well, yeah, thanks to the crew at Savage
Yeah, that's
Level.
it. That's it. And everyone's
I mean,
layers and levels.
Everybody else did the sale super high, so yeah, I mean, there's been lots of efforts and hard work, but we are complementary. You know, these guys work together, you know, and we're all working together, all departments in a way and different ways, but we're all going to the same spot, you know. We're going to find the treasure on the map, which is the release of this game, and we all had and have still, because it's not released, the same goal. And yeah, we built the crew because we knew what we needed. Just took some time to find the right people, obviously, but at the end of the day,
You explored.
we explored the whole thing, and we made it. It took us to this.
And so I like the fact that you're talking about what really is going to be the treasure for you guys is the release of the game. So you're going to be handing the treasure of Oblivion to the players. And hopefully you will be many to play this game and to discover these treasures. Remember, this is Pirate Universe. It's with original comic inspired. You'll see that the storytelling is related to comic books with bubbles, and you're going to be imagining the voices on this adventure. It also has unique visual identity, tactical turn-based combat, where you can roll dice or not. If you manage to use the environment properly, you'll have unique crew member abilities, many crew. The crew is important both for game developing, but also to play this game, and a card system for the abilities themselves, and explore. Remember, explore across the wide world. There are many places to see, apparently, in Flint, Treasure of Oblivion. And so the game is to be released very soon. Watch this space, watch the release. Actually add Flint to your wish list on the different spaces you need, because it's going to be released on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. And thank you, crew, for being here, and Captain, for your presence around the table.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike Freud, and thank you, Savage Level. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you for watching.